All right. Playing another game today.
Better Part of Valor.
Better Part of Valor. Nighthaunt versus Sylvaneth. I have a slightly different list, but a lot of similarities. We'll roll off for sides. We're playing on Akshi with the burning geysers, whatever, flaming geysers. Realm state feature, no terrain rules. And that's about it. So let's get to roll off. Tie at 2. 6 for me. 2 for you. I will take... I think I'm going to take this side today.
Okay.
So I deploy first. And we'll talk about our list after. All right, so deployment's done. You've kept a bunch of stuff in reserve. I have everything of mine on the board. Want to take me through your list?
All right. I've got the Execution Host Battalion with 9 Spirit Hosts on the table, 2 units of 3 off the table with the Lord Executioner off the table as well. Got the Moringal on the table, another one off the table. Got a Spirit Host. Giving reroll 1s.
What's the model?
Oh, the Spirit Torment.
Spirit.
Yeah. And then my general, the Dreadblade Harrow.
Hiding behind a building.
Yes. The Black Coach over here. Trying to hide behind a building unsuccessfully. And then 2 units of 4 Glade Wraith Stalkers. And then a Karen Wraith off the table as well.
Yeah. So I had about 4 drops after you were done, which was mostly my bow hunters because they're my big threat. And we're playing with the buildings where you can't see through the windows just so we do have some line of sight blocking terrain. But the Black Coach being as big as it is, it couldn't entirely hide. So I've deployed my 3 units of Kurnoth Hunters with bows here so they can threaten him turn 1. So you basically have the tough decision of either taking first or me trying to shoot him off. And yeah, I have everything on the table. Obviously, I've completely zoned out my backfield from your deep strike, so you'll have to come in the front. And I do have the 2 Tree Revenant units to teleport. I am running Heartwood again, so I have my general here with the item Horn of the Consort, currently giving all my Kurnoth Hunters reroll 1s to hit. So it's a scary threat to try and charge into, potentially. I also have the Outcast Battalion with my 3 units of Spites, giving my second Branch Wraith the item Spirit Song Stave. She took the spell Throne of Vines, so she can cast twice, and one of her spell gives her +2 to cast. But yeah, that's it. You outdropped me pretty easily, so it's your choice.
I think I'll take it.
Yeah.
And we'll see how it goes.
Sounds good. Good luck.
All right. So I made a couple of Nighthaunt charges. Woohoo! The Spirit Host killed a Kurnoth, and then
Just straight with mortal wounds. Yeah.
yep. The Morngul blew up the 5 Revenants. So that was before the combat even started.
Yeah, another Nighthaunt. You had 2 Nighthaunt charges.
Yeah. Then the Morngul went into the Bow Hunters, almost killed the guy. The Spirit Host went into the Kurnoths, killed another guy.
Yeah, 8 mortal wounds.
8 mortals, yeah. These Spirit Hosts killed the 5 Revenants here, and that's how we ended this. I don't take anything from Jordan yet.
Yeah. I had to battle shock, or I had to use a command point to make them immune to battle shock, so I don't lose 1 more.
Yeah. So Jordan can't really shoot anything too good with the Bow Hunters.
So this unit's out, but yeah, 1 unit's not going to take out much on its own.
Yeah. The Morngul's applying his -1 to hit to all the other ones. The Morngul, everything is behind the building. So I'm feeling pretty good.
Yep.
About turn 1.
So you took first turn.
Yes.
So you definitely had an effective first turn. There is the threat of the double.
Yeah.
But I think you've been so aggressive that the double is not necessarily going to hurt you. In terms of, it might hurt you in terms of models and me killing stuff if I get the double, but you're in a more powerful position in terms of board control. So I wouldn't jump up in store or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's end of Nighthaunt turn 1, and we go into Sylvaneth turn 1.
All right.
So end of Sylvaneth turn 1 at the bottom of round 1. Basically, trying to clean up and claw out, and pretty effective. So basically just trying to reposition a bit, abandon that objective because I can't really protect it against his Spirit Host with what I had there. So kind of conceded that one to him, which will be a blow victory point wise. But I had a very effective turn, I think. I got, some moved Drycha up, repositioned my tree revs and spite revs just to kind of screen a little bit. Drycha managed to get 6 mortals, and then she basically blew off 6 mortals with her
11.
20 shots. 11 wounds.
No. Oh.
It was 6 mortals on the Morndal with shooting.
Yeah.
He only had 7 wounds, and the rest of her attacks, the rest of her attacks finished him off. So she did 7 wounds to the Morndal, which is huge because it freed up all my Kurnoth hunters, not only to shoot what they wanted, but also not have the -1 to hit. So I had all 9 Kurnoth hunters shooting into the Spirit Host, doing D3 mortals a hit and rerolling all their hits. So for whatever, went through. And then Draichi got in also in combat, made her charge, and then blew up for like 4 mortals also, with her melee combat with 4 mortals on 10 dice. So 30 dice, she had 10 mortals, which is pretty good amount of 6s. I'll take it. So got lucky there. And then the Kurnoth Hunters with scythes cleaned up the rest of the Spirit Hosts. So not what you wanted to see in terms of that unit dying completely, because that means you can't bring any of those models back.
Yeah.
But you still do have some stuff off the board, and you are controlling the board at the moment. But yeah, effective Sylvaneth turn 1 in terms of killing stuff. I just have to be smart and careful about objectives now that I've risked that one. But it'll come down to priority, and then we'll try to see where we're at. All right, let's roll for round 2, see who wins priority. 2, your choice.
I will take it.
All right. So we're going into top of round 2 with Nighthaunt going first. Okay, finishing up combat, Nighthaunt turn. Top of round 2, Nighthaunt took first, and it is game over. So take me through your turn, what you did.
So I dropped down my last 2 units, the Spirit Host onto this objective, the Lord Executioner over there. They just sat on the objective. He made a Nighthaunt charge, got into the teleporting revenants. Tree revenants. He killed 3 of them with the Nighthaunt charge. Killed the other 2 in the regular combat. So that wiped that unit. The Morgul made his 9-inch charge.
Pretty easily cleaned up those tree revs.
Did 8 mortals to 5 wounds, so that wiped them. He got over there with the teleport from the Nighthaunt summons from the general. The Black Coach and the 2 little foot heroes finished off Drycha. Not just not by much, but they did kill her.
These guys took out the unit 5 spites.
With a Nighthaunt charge and then the regular combat.
Yeah, so there's 1 left, which made you have to pile into him, so you couldn't get into my hero. But that's null and void because you take the objective.
Yeah. So at the end of Nighthaunt turn 2, I'm sitting on all 6 objectives.
And then you can just burn them, and obviously you just win. I think so. Great game. From what happened in bottom of 1 to top of 2, the game just flipped on its head.
Yeah.
I think we were both a little surprised. I was surprised. I think the big mistake here, obviously I knew you were going to take this one. I knew I had to try and screen here. But I think the only thing I could have prevented is just the 2 inches over, and you couldn't have gotten to those tree revs. And then, depending on what happens, I can easily, take yours, teleport around on my turn. But really, I needed to block that off, and then needed you to fail a charge to really have a good chance there. But yeah, you got everything you needed to pretty effectively, and we could play this out. I could still do a ton of damage to you and have very few models, but the fact that you can burn the objectives in this mission means it's just over. So I don't feel like there's any we could play it out, but again, we know the game's decided here, so I think we'll play another game. All my Kurnoth hunters are just ready to.
Yeah. 1 Kurnoth off the board. That's it.
Yeah, and see, you can, as you saw from turn 1 to turn 2, right? You can just avoid them on your turn. Is at times the best thing to do. Obviously, turn 1, I prevented you from getting into my battlefield with screening. But I think, just avoiding the Scythe Hunters on your first turn would have even, swung it pretty hard.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good game.
Yeah, good game. I think even looking at this and what you were able to do, I think even if I had 1 priority in turn 2 and taking the turn, I would have been hard pressed to win. It's tough.
You would have killed enough of my stuff that I wouldn't have had options to jump on other objectives.
So I think potentially I could have got the 9 hunters and Drake just shooting at your Black Coach. And then the 6 scythes, or 5, maybe I bring one back into 6. But the Scythe Hunters taking out the Morgul, that would have been my play there. Now you still take that one, and I think I still abandon that one. And maybe even have to burn this one on my turn, retreat onto this one to just protect this one, and then start going for yours, right? I think that would have been my play. Because this was a good game. Talking, obviously we play, for the most part, this is a friendly game, but we play somewhat competitive lists. Always, with the thought in mind of, the possibility of taking it to a tournament or how it would do in the greater meta. Don't necessarily try and skew lists in our matchups. The changes I made, dropping the Tree Lord. I actually really like how this performed without the Tree Lord.
Yeah,
it's just a waste of points, right?
As long as you're smart about screening off deep strikes,
And even
unless somebody has shooting.
Yep, but even here, if this was this was a line of sight blocking, I can drop him back there.
Yeah.
Have him within woods and then can teleport. Yes, there are ways to get around that. Drycha again actually performed really well. Obviously, she can swing the opposite way.
Yeah.
But just
doubling the normal amount of.
But even still, if she didn't do that much, just the 5 mortal wounds would have been really good against your spirit host, right? So even if half the output and then the Kurnoth Hunters would have still cleaned up the rest. I do like her in this. I do like dropping the Tree Lord. I had Spite Swarm Hive here. I don't think the only reason I ran that is because what I had here in points today. I think I would normally I would have the points to drop the Spite Swarm Hive and take another unit of 5 Tree Revenants. So I have 3 teleporting units, which even more threat, right? So in a situation like this, I can teleport 1 here, 2 here, pretty easily take 2 objectives. So that's, but otherwise I like the list. I've been toying around with adding some more Kurnoth Hunters, and I could drop Drycha and one of the Tree Revs, or only take the 2 Tree Revs and fit in 2 more units of bows, or 1 of bows, 1 of scythes. Definitely options there.
All right, I could also, for my list, potentially drop one of the 2 Mourngulls, add 6 more Spirit Hosts, whether that's 12-6-3 or 9-9-3.
Yeah.
Probably something like that.
I don't
think I would go 6-6.
No, because it's nice to have 1 or 2 just to do nothing, right? And either screen or capture an objective.
That would also leave me enough points to upgrade the 2 4-man Glaive Wraiths into 10-man Chain Rasps.
I think that's big because
then I outnumber you. You've got to kill 6 to.
And even in general in other matchups, right? It's harder to these guys zone. They're good for zoning, but not necessarily objective holding, because they can't stand up too much. Whereas, and not even the 5 Tree Revs don't need to necessarily stand up. I can just take it. But yeah, I think the 10 Chain Rasps also just bigger surface area to screen out.
Yeah. So that's what I'm thinking.
I like that. I like that change. I think the Mortals are good.
Yeah, no, they're great.
But
I love them.
Yeah, I think it'll make you be a little pickier maybe about where you throw the Mortal in.
I every time I get a Nighthaunt charge, I just want to get greedy with it, but I shouldn't have gone in here. I should have stayed back, force you to come into me on your turn. I don't even think it's bad, or just bring them come down over here, or push in over here. Whether you teleport, because you could have brought that unit of 9 Spear Hosts over here, teleported them and then charged in over here. There were the Spite Revs that created some clearance, but between you got a Nighthaunt charge, so you would have taken them out and then moved in. So you would have tied them up, where then you're effectively tying up a big chunk of power, where, yes, you were tying those up on my turn, but I want them in combat anyways, right? Yeah. So it wasn't effective. It wasn't hurting me to be tying up that unit, where tying up my shooting would have been a bigger pain. And then you still have the Mortal in, giving the -1 hit, and maybe I'm able to focus him down first still, but you wouldn't have lost the 2 Spirit Hosts in your turn, which made it easier for me to kill them in mine. Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked about it a bunch. I really like where your list, kind of what you've been playing lately with Nighthaunt. Obviously, this game, you got a good amount of charges with your rerolls, where you got the Nighthaunt charges, which just are icing on the cake. But even your units alone, I think.
My Nighthaunt charges were the equivalent of your Drycha mortal wounds.
Yeah.
You can't expect to get 4 out of 8 Nighthaunt charges.
No, for sure. But the rerolls help make it consistent, and Aether Quartz gives you potentially some more CPs. But I just the mortal wound output of your Spirit Hosts and their resilience. Not that you brought back any models today, but just how resilient they are often. Thinking of 2 units of 9 is much scarier than a second Mourngul. I think. Especially like you just blow stuff up. Like even you chew through obviously the chaff, which is no surprise, but just the fact that like, you know, those guys can pop Kurnoth hunters pretty easily is huge. Yeah. No, good game, fun game, quick game, but that's nothing wrong with that. It was definitely an entertaining one.
Set up for a second game?
Yeah, let's do it. Awesome. Thanks for watching.